morning. So today's a cooking day and I'm doing a lot of prep for the week. And I am going to be making some of these Sea Island red peas. A lot of people haven't heard of these. I try to diversify beans, legumes, peas, all that good stuff. So this is what I'm making this week. I've already made purple rice. So that's kind of what we're going with for our base this week. These guys are kind of like, they look like little tiny kidney beans, but they're not. If you haven't tried these yet, I highly recommend. I did a quick soak. So what I did is I rinsed them, put them in this lovely bowl, and then I poured boiling water into it from the kettle. And so now I'm just gonna strain them out and rinse them really quick and put them in the pot. This just gets any of the extra starch or debris out of it, just in case. So I soaked it for a little over an hour. When you do a quick soak, that's usually what you do with boiling water as opposed to soaking overnight. So that's a quick tip to help you in case you forget to put them soaking the night before, which I do 99% of the time. So this is what they look like. They're pretty, right? I decided today I'm gonna do some smoked paprika because these kind of have like a kidney bean flavor to them, and they're a little meatier, but not quite as much depth, if that helps a little. So I'm gonna add some of the smoked paprika to enhance the flavor profile. And then I've decided to use some berry today. I like this seasoning. It's an Ethiopian style blend that's used in a lot of Ethiopian dishes. It's a little smokier and meatier also. And then I'm gonna add cumin because this has been one of my favorites. Spices to add lately. For some reason I'm on a cumin kick, so I'm gonna add that. And then once I have those in there, with beans it's a little bit easier. You don't have to have exact measurements, which is great because you're gonna drain the liquid when it's done, so you just want to make sure you have enough. I've put a cup of dried beans to start with, so I'm probably going to put about 3 or 4 cups. I'm not going to measure it because I don't have to with rice, so why make my life more difficult? I'm going to use some of this veggie broth. I used half of it already for the rice, so I'm going to use some of it. I'm not going to measure because I want to keep some for dog's breakfast tomorrow. And then I'm going to use the rest of what I need for the liquid. I'm just going to fill it up from my Connecticut faucet. I've got about 3/4 of the way full with liquid, and then I'm going to put it on the stove and start it on high and boil it. So it's been on high for a little while. I've been waiting for it to boil. So what I'm going to do is turn it down to simmer, which on my oven is 2. Everybody's oven's different, so hopefully you know how yours is operating and it's not possessed. I'm gonna set the timer for an hour, and after an hour they should be done, but typically an hour with these guys works well, which is less than you cook kidney beans, but kidney beans are larger. So after an hour we're gonna check this and see where we're at. So the timer's going off, so it's been on for 60 minutes, but typically 60 minutes is all I need for these guys to get them where I want them to be. So we're gonna check it out and see where we're at. So you can tell that quite a few of the peas have broken apart. That's a good sign because it means they're soft enough. I'm gonna pick one of these guys out. Oh yeah, definitely soft enough. Kind of fell apart in my hand. So perfect. Remove it from the heat, let it sit, cool down for a little bit, and then once it cools down, I'm going to put all of the Red Sea peas into a container. Make sure it's cooled down to at least close to room temp, if not, and then I'll put it in the fridge. And that's about it. So if you haven't tried these type of peas before, I think you should definitely give them a shot. They're pretty good. They're tasty. They're smaller than kidney beans. They're very diverse. They're not too overpowering flavor profile wise. They're great with beans and rice. They're great on a salad. They're great as a side by themselves. There's so many things you can do with these guys that I love to add them into our regular routine at least once a month. And that way we have more diversity in our gut microbiome. We get a different nutrient profile, different vitamins and minerals. They're high in magnesium, which I'm a huge advocate for. So, I mean, there's really nothing you can complain about with these guys, except they can be harder to find. Sometimes I just order them directly from the manufacturer, which is in South Carolina, which is pretty cool because it's the state right next to ours. They have some very interesting local beans, peas, and legumes. So I would check them out if you can't find them where you're at locally and give it a shot. So I'd love to know, what are some of the different beans, peas, and legumes that you work into your regular diet to create more diversity? And have you tried these guys? So let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are, and if this is something you might be willing to try if you haven't already. I'd love to hear how you like the flavor profile. Have a great one.